Hey everybody, it's Kevra. That's me, I'm Kevra, and we got a lot to cover. We don't even have time for a good intro joke. In fact, we don't even have time for a bad intro joke. Wait, what do you mean that they're all bad? There was a bunch of people who got to play Super Mario Party Jamboree and posted actual gameplay footage. Now, I watched almost 20 of these videos, and here's kind of a compilation of things that I've seen, and I'm gonna start off with the thing that I haven't seen anybody talk about. The last 5 turns roulette has returned. So if you played any of the Mario parties on the GameCube, you should remember this. You know, the host does the whole usual spiel about it's the last 5 turns, this happens, this happens, this happens, and then 4th place gets to come on down and spin the roulette, and whatever they land on, that's the big thing for the last 5 turns. Sometimes it was really stupid, like blue spaces and red spaces are worth double, which is basically just the standard anyway. Sometimes it was something a little more crazy, like all stars are free up until the end of the game. So in this version, after Yellow Toad gives his little spiel about blue and red spaces being doubled, you'll duel somebody if you land on the same space as them. Yellow Toad then goes to the person that's in 4th place and tells them to hit the roulette. Now, I've only seen this once, so I don't know if these are the only 5 options available or if this is, a constantly changing thing. Also, I don't speak, I think this is French. Hopefully I'm translating it correctly. So the first event is that the player that's in 4th place gets a mushroom. Obviously, nothing really special there. Event number 2, everyone's coins are doubled, and that is absolutely bonkers. Event number 3, everyone receives a star hex, another really kind of crazy one. Event number 4, everyone gets a double dice, which is another one that's just kind of meh. And then for the final one, more Bowser spaces get added to the map. Now, as you can see for this particular game, every single player got a star hex, which again, I think is pretty crazy. And speaking of the star hexes, it sounds like you can actually put these hexes on literally any space on the board. Now, I don't have actual footage of it. There was someone that was just talking about putting it, I think like on a Bowser space or something. But if you can put it on a special space like that, I'm assuming that you can put it on any kind of space. But yeah, do take this with a grain of salt because again, I never actually saw footage of it. Somebody just talked about it in one of their videos. And you know what, since that was such a minor detail, let's go ahead and get a few other minor details out of the way just really quick. Chance time plays exactly like it played in Mario Party Superstars and Mario Party 1 and 2. It's 3 dice, you can hit them in any order you want. It's not like Mario Party 3 and later where it was like, well, you have to hit them in a specific order according to what the game says, or even do pinball for some bizarre, weird reason. Bowser spaces again kind of work exactly like how they've always worked. Warp blocks have changed to warp mirrors. So if you were wondering what that mirror item was, yeah, it's a warp block basically. Cursed dice blocks have had their name changed to creepy dice blocks, and now you can actually buy triple creepy dice blocks, which will basically do it to every single other player at the same time. So instead of just doing 1 to one player, you're doing 3 to all of your opponents. Of course, that being said, they only get 1 each, just to clarify. Another interesting detail is that the items don't seem to change depending on placement. So no matter what place you're in, you're gonna have the exact same selection as everyone else. Now, it probably will change either halfway through the game like it did for Superstars, or maybe even every 5 turns or something like that. Personally, I'm pretty happy about that. I think that makes the shops easier to browse if you already know what's available before you even go in. And I was kind of worried that wasn't gonna be the case considering how massive the item selection was for this game. Speaking of items, it sounds like one particular item might be something called a lodestone. Now, there is no actual information on what lodestones are, but my best guess is that it's gonna be something that fills up your inventory, like basically an item that's worthless. All you can do is just select it to throw it away, and that's your one item you can use per turn kind of a situation. So in other words, if you get 3 lodestones, it's gonna take 3 turns to get rid of every single one of them. However, that is just my personal guess. It could be that it slows you down. It could be that it does something that I'm not even possibly thinking of. Again, it's just speculation, just like this next topic that I'm going to talk about, which is the fact that boss minigames have returned. This is something else that we have almost no information about. We just have seen the bee be attacked the same way that old boss minigames used to work in Mario Party 9 and 10, and that's pretty much the only information that we have. We don't know if this is a part of the main Mario Party mode, if it's some sort of side mode, or perhaps even both. But my speculation about this is the fact that each board is going to have some sort of boss minigame, and so if you land on a versus space, it's possible that you actually end up playing a boss battle minigame. And for Wiggler's Tree Garden, that boss battle minigame would be centered around this bee, because you have the honeycombs and the honey jar, the bees all fly at you if you pick wrong, so I kind of feel like those two things are related. And I'm hoping that if this is the case, that it's just one of the possible minigames that you can play. Like, in Superstars, it was any possible 4-player minigame that could be a battle minigame. And I'm hoping that this is just one possible minigame among all of the 4-player minigames. Because if it has to be every single time you land on a versus space, you have to play a boss battle minigame, that's gonna suck. All right, now we have one final topic, which is about the allies. And there is a lot of different information to go over here really quick. And I'll just go ahead and say that although I was very cautious about the ally system because I hated it so much in Super, I always said that it could be good. I'm hoping that it's good, but I'm just worried that it's not gonna be good. And now, honestly, after all this information that I've seen, I'm feeling a lot better about it. Now, don't get me wrong, it could still be terrible. I haven't played it. I won't know until I actually play it. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds pretty balanced. Now, the first piece of great news is the fact that you can lose your allies so easily. All it takes is for someone to walk right past you, and then they steal your ally. Now, you can obviously steal it back on your next turn whenever you pass them potentially again. But even if no one else is around you for some odd reason, the ally leaves after just 3 turns, unlike Super Mario Party, where they would stay with you literally the entire game. So with this combination of the fact that they can be so easily stolen and then only last 3 turns, it makes them so much less overpowered. Also, and once again, this is one of those situations where I don't have actual footage of it, but I recall people saying one of 2 things. First, when you land on a Bowser space with an ally, you get double the negative effects, which I kind of always assumed. But then I also heard from one of the people who actually played the game that they had their ally when they went to Boo, and they got to do a double steal. Now, it's not confirmed that you can steal twice from someone who has an ally, but I'm kind of thinking that that's probably the case. Again though, take that with a grain of salt because I never actually saw it, it was just the people talking about it. And one of the videos I watched talked about the chain chomp call being a brand new item and they thought it was a really cool new idea, so some of these people, they don't always know what they're talking about. But one thing that I absolutely know for a fact is that we know 3 of the abilities because each different ally has a different ability. For DK, he's basically got the ability of being a green pipe. You can warp to whatever location. It's an unknown random location, but if you want to use his ability, I guess before you even roll, you can say, hey DK, warp me, and you're gonna go to a random space on the board. Luigi's ability is that you can get higher rolls. So maybe you just don't get 1 or 2. Maybe it's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, they're gonna put 20 numbers on the dice roll, and so it's gonna be more often that you hit like a 10, because they're gonna put like 3 of them on there, kind of a situation, and there's only gonna be 1 single one. I got no clue how that exactly works. You're just supposed to get higher rolls. That's all we really know. And finally, we have Daisy, who you get half price items at a shop that already, isn't that expensive to begin with, so she's trash. And that's it for my little news roundup. Now, I've got to say, after watching all of today's footage, I'm really looking forward to this game. I know that I've always been just kind of cautiously optimistic, like I'm looking forward to it, but like I'm worried about this or I'm worried about that. We don't know this, we don't know that. And now I've got to say that it's leaning even more optimistic. I'm feeling a little bit less cautious. Like, yeah, it could still be bad because, even if a Mario Party game is great, it could still have bad boards. I mean, even our favorite Mario Party games has probably at least one bad board that we don't like, right? And we haven't played any of these boards, so we don't know if that, is gonna apply to this game. Maybe we like half the boards, maybe we don't like any of the boards, maybe we do love all of the boards. It's just that one crazy awesome game where it's just like, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, that's not realistic, but still, you see where I'm going with this. But what do you guys think of all these little tidbits of information? Did they get you more excited for the game? Let me know in the comments below, and until next time, I'll catch you later.